If you are over 60, the first 10 minutes after you wake up might silently triple your morning stroke risk, and most seniors in America never hear this warning until it is too late. Think about your own morning. You sit up, reach for your glasses, let the dog out, or grab that first comforting cup of coffee. Those familiar moments can feel harmless, but after 60, they can push your brain harder than an entire stressful day. And here is the truth that few people talk about. Your brain is more vulnerable in the morning, and stroke prevention for seniors starts the moment your feet touch the floor. I am Dr. James, a brain doctor who has cared for older adults across the country for more than 20 years. And I have seen lives change in a single morning simply because no one explained what aging really does to the brain. This video is not here to scare you. It is here to protect your independence, your memory, and the mornings you still want to wake up to. You are not fragile. You are simply living in a body that has worked hard for decades, and it deserves a gentler start to the day. Before we go on, tell me something important. What do you drink first when you wake up? Water or coffee? Type it below. I read every comment because your habits help me understand how to guide you toward better stroke prevention for seniors and reduce your morning stroke risk starting tomorrow morning. Stay with me. The habit at number 1 is something almost every senior does without thinking, and it may be the single most powerful change you make this year. #5. The morning habit almost every senior does without realizing the danger. If you are over 60, one of the fastest ways to raise your morning stroke risk happens before you even leave your bedroom. Picture this. The sun is barely coming through the blinds, your dog is waiting by the door, and you stand up quickly without taking even one sip of water. It feels harmless, but for older adults, this simple moment can quietly increase their morning stroke risk more than you realize. Let me ask you something. Honestly, have you ever stood up in the morning and felt the room tilt for a second? Maybe your vision dimmed, or you needed to grab the dresser. If that has ever happened to you, type yes in the comments. I read every single one because these moments tell me how to guide better stroke prevention for seniors like you. Here is why it happens. After a full night of sleep, your blood becomes thicker, like honey left in a cool kitchen. Your blood vessels, once flexible like a new garden hose, become stiffer with age. When you jump out of bed without drinking water, your blood pressure drops, then surges, like a faucet sputtering before the water evens out. That instability is exactly what increases morning stroke risk for older adults. I think of a man named Raymond, a 66-year-old retired truck driver from Ohio. Every morning, he would stand up fast, grab his coffee, and head straight outside. One week, after ignoring a moment of dizziness, he experienced a thanks in advance. He looked at me and said, "James, no one ever told me it was something this small. You did not fail. Your body simply needs a gentler start." So tomorrow morning, place a glass of water on your nightstand. Sit for 20 or 30 seconds before standing. These small changes are powerful stroke prevention for seniors, and they protect the independence you worked your whole life to keep. And stay with me, because the next habit is something seniors do with their morning medications, and it surprises almost everyone. #4. The medication mistake almost every senior makes without realizing the risk. If you are over 60, this next habit may be silently raising your morning stroke risk every single day. And the surprising part is that most seniors believe they are doing everything right. You wake up, open your pill organizer, and take all your medications and supplements at once, often before breakfast. It feels organized, responsible, and healthy. But mixing too many pills in the first 10 minutes of your day can increase morning stroke risk far more than people talk about. Let me ask you something simple. Do you take your morning pills on your nightstand, in the bathroom, or in the kitchen? Type it below. I read every comment because these little habits help me guide better stroke prevention for seniors, especially when medication timing plays a bigger role than most people know. Here is what no one explains. As we age, the body becomes more sensitive to timing. Taking several medications at once, especially on an empty stomach, can create what I call a chemical traffic jam. Some pills lower blood pressure, others raise it. Some thin the blood, some make it thicker. When they collide all at once, it is like having 5 cars speed through the same intersection. One wrong timing, and everything becomes unstable. And instability in blood pressure is one of the fastest ways to increase morning stroke risk after 60. I remember a woman named Clara, a 78-year-old retired school librarian from Florida. She took her blood thinner, her pressure medication, her garlic supplement, and her fish oil at the same time every morning. She truly believed she was doing the right thing. But one morning, her blood pressure dropped too fast, then surged, and she experienced a mild brain bleed. She told me, and I followed the instructions. No one told me they could interact. You did not fail. Your body is not failing you. Your body simply needs gentler timing and a calmer morning routine. Here is a safer approach. Follow the label instructions exactly. Some medications need food. Some require separation. And always tell your doctor about every supplement, even natural ones. This is powerful stroke prevention for seniors, and it protects the independence you worked so hard to keep. And stay with me, because the next habit begins with your first sip of coffee, and it affects morning stroke risk more than most seniors ever imagine. #3. The coffee habit that raises morning stroke risk more than most seniors realize. For many older adults, that first cup of coffee is more than a routine. It is comfort. It is warmth. It is the sound of the coffee maker in a quiet kitchen and the smell that fills the house before the sun fully rises. But if you are over 60, drinking strong coffee on an empty stomach can raise your morning stroke risk far more than most seniors ever imagine. Let me ask you something gently. How soon after waking do you drink your first cup? 5 minutes? 10? Maybe even immediately? Type the number below. I read every comment because understanding your habits helps me guide better stroke prevention for seniors and protect you from unnecessary morning stroke risk. Here is what most people never hear from their doctor. When you wake up, your nervous system is already trying to stabilize your blood pressure, which naturally fluctuates more after 60. When you drink strong coffee before water or food, caffeine hits you hard and fast. It is like pressing the gas pedal on a cold engine. Your heart rate rises, your blood vessels tighten, and your blood pressure jumps in seconds. If your arteries are stiffer, which is completely normal after 60, this sudden surge can increase morning stroke risk, especially in those early minutes of the day. I think of a man named Ellis, a 72-year-old retired architect from Arizona. Every morning, before opening the blinds or feeding his dog, he drank 2 shots of espresso on an empty stomach. He loved the ritual. But one morning, after just a few sips, his heart raced, his head felt heavy, and his vision blurred. A few days later, he experienced a thanks in advance. When we talked, he said, "I never knew coffee timing mattered." And here is the part I want you to hear with your whole heart. You did not do anything wrong. Your body is simply asking for a softer start. There is a safe and simple fix. Drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up. Eat something light, a banana, a slice of toast, a few bites of oatmeal before your first sip, or choose a milder brew. These gentle changes support stroke prevention for seniors and protect your mornings for years ahead. Stay with me. The next habit is even more common, and it happens the moment you stand up. It affects balance, blood pressure, and your morning stroke risk more than most seniors realize. #2, the simple movement mistake that can spike your morning stroke risk in seconds. For many older adults, this next habit happens so quickly that you may not even notice you are doing it. You wake up, hear the phone buzz, notice the mail truck outside, or remember something you forgot the night before, and you stand up fast. In your 30s or 40s, that was nothing. But after 60, standing up too quickly can raise your morning stroke risk far more than people realize. I want to ask you something personal. Has the room ever tilted or softened for a moment when you stood up in the morning? Has your vision ever dimmed for a second? Like someone lowered a dimmer switch? If this has ever happened to you, type yes below. I read every comment because these moments matter for real stroke prevention for seniors, and they help me understand what your brain may be experiencing each morning. Here is what happens inside your body. When you sleep, blood settles. Your vessels relax. Your brain is calm. But when you stand up too quickly, your blood pressure momentarily drops, then rebounds sharply. For younger arteries, this is no problem. But for older arteries that have stiffened with time, it is like trying to bend an old garden hose. The pressure surge can be abrupt and unpredictable. That sudden shift increases morning stroke risk, especially in the first 5 minutes after waking. I think of a woman named Harriet, a 74-year-old widow from Michigan. Every morning, she stood up fast, rushed to open the blinds, and hurried to take care of her cat before breakfast. One day, she felt a rush of dizziness, ignored it, and went on with her day. Weeks later, she experienced a warning stroke. When she sat in my office, she said, "I thought getting up quickly meant I was still strong. Let me tell you gently. Strength is not the issue. Your body simply deserves a softer rise. Here is a safer way to start your day. Sit up slowly. Place your feet on the floor. Take one deep breath. Then stand. This tiny change supports stroke prevention for seniors and protects your balance, your clarity, and your independence. Stay with me. The number one habit, the one almost every senior does without realizing the danger, happens before you even open your eyes, and it affects morning stroke risk more than anything else you do all day. Hey, shown, the sleeping position habit that raises morning stroke risk more than anything else. This final habit is the one almost every senior in America does without realizing its impact. It does not happen in the kitchen or when you stand up, or even when you drink that first cup of coffee. It happens while you are still asleep. And if you are over 60, the way you position your head and neck at night can raise your morning stroke risk more than anything else you do all day. Let me ask you something gently. Do you sleep flat, with your head level with your body, or do you use 1 or 2 pillows? Some seniors even fall asleep in a recliner. Type flat, pillow, or recliner below. I read every comment because your sleep position is one of the most important parts of stroke prevention for seniors, and your answer tells me how your brain drains blood overnight. Here is what most older adults never get told. When you sleep completely flat, especially after 60, blood flow in and out of the brain slows down. Think of it like a narrow pipe that is perfectly horizontal. Water sits there longer, especially if the pipe has stiffened with age. Your veins and arteries work the same way. When your head is too low, blood can pool, and if you already deal with sleep apnea, snoring, high blood pressure, or stiff arteries, the risk compounds. Then, in the first few minutes of waking, when blood pressure naturally rises, that instability can sharply increase your morning stroke risk. I think of a man named Leonard, a 77-year-old veteran from Texas. He slept flat his whole life, no pillow, just habit. One morning, he woke up feeling heavy, unsteady, almost like he was walking through fog. 2 hours later, he was in the ER with a warning stroke. When he recovered, he told me, "James, I never thought sleep position mattered. I thought sleep was just sleep. You did nothing wrong. Your body is not failing you. Your brain is simply asking for a safer angle." Here is the good news. A wedge pillow, lifting your head 20 to 30 degrees, or sleeping slightly on your left side can dramatically support stroke prevention for seniors. These are gentle changes, simple, safe, and deeply protective. Stay with me. In the next and final section, I will show you how these small morning adjustments can protect your independence, your memory, and the mornings you love. The truth I want you to remember is simple. Your body can still change. Your brain can still adapt. And every small choice you make in the morning is a vote for healing, protection, and independence. After 60, nothing is too small to matter. The glass of water you drink, the way you stand, the timing of your medications, the moment you sip your coffee, and the angle of your head while you sleep, all of these shape your morning stroke risk far more than most seniors ever get told. If you have watched this far, it tells me something important about you. It tells me you care. It tells me you want to stay strong, stay clear-minded, stay mobile, and stay present for the people who love you. That is what real stroke prevention for seniors looks like. Not fear, not stress. Just small, gentle habits practiced with intention. I want you to think of your brain the way you think of an old family home. Maybe it has a few cracks, maybe the paint has faded, but with the right care, it can stand strong for decades. Your brain is the same. It does not need perfection. It just needs protection. And these morning choices can lower your morning stroke risk in ways that truly matter for your future. Before we end, tell me something from your heart. Which of the 5 habits will you change first tomorrow morning? Standing up slower? Drinking water first? Adjusting your sleep position? Type the number in the comments. Your answer might help another senior who reads it, and I read every comment because your story matters. If this video helped you, consider subscribing so you never miss a new lesson about your brain, your longevity, or your morning health. Share this with someone you love who is over 60. Small information can save a lifetime. And remember this, truly, you are not fragile. You are not too old to change. Your brain is still fighting for you every single morning. Give it the gentle support it needs, and the life you want is still ahead of you.